Good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Chris Edwards. What's going on, Chris?
I'm good. Good morning. How you doing today?
You are in moving mode as we were talking.
Yeah, the boxes are out in full swing. I couldn't. It got to a point now where I can't like move the boxes out the way to hide them from the background. So it's like whatever.
Now he's in the warehouse.
Yeah. It's 4 weeks from today. The big move.
Wow.
Getting more excited. We're 29 days left, I think.
Yeah. I know the feeling. I was saying yesterday. Did I mention? Yeah. So yesterday after I got off here, I continue my process of cleaning up. So I emptied out one cabinet in the kitchen. So I feel so good. And so I'm going for
you feel accomplished, right?
Today. Yeah, I feel like I accomplished something.
Every little
got
step.
rid of all of those pots that I had, all my planters. They're all gone. I bought like 32 pots of empty, took the dirt out, threw it in the garbage dumpster, and just laid them there and said, neighbors, if you want them, grab them. They were when I went back downstairs, they were gone.
They were gone. I did the same thing yesterday. So, in preparation to move, and then because it's springtime, I repotted maybe about, I think it was 5 or 6 plants yesterday. And I finally repotted my birds of paradise. And you know how big that is. That's about 6 feet tall. And then I got 2 smaller ones to put in a pot. So I have a huge pot. So they're ready for their move. But it's funny because I don't know if the movers will take it, and I don't know if I want to give them it to take. Even though these guys are pretty good. All my other plants. All my plants will fit in the truck, but like this one, I know is not going to. So I had to figure out what I'm going to do as far as getting it to.
Bird of paradise has grown to 6 feet.
When I got that plant, it was a tabletop plant. It was maybe about a foot, and it's about 5-6 feet right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, right here. These small.
As long as you take care of them, they'll take care of you.
I love plants. I have become a plant. I've always loved plants, but I used to be a plant killer. I was an assassin to plants. Who is in the building? Hannah gets the gold, and she says, "Good morning, Ron and Chris."
Hey, hold on, Hannah.
Family.
Where were you yesterday? We didn't see you yesterday.
She had a family matter. She had a family matter yesterday.
All right.
Yes,
well, then we'll forget that.
So she's good.
We made mention of it yesterday.
Yes, we missed you. Everyone was like, "Where's Hannah? We miss Hannah." So Hannah did send me she slid into my DMs and let me know what was going on.
Okay.
And Silva is Jazzy. She says, "Good morning, beautiful people." Elise is in the building. She says, "Good morning, everyone." And she gets the bronze today. And I see all the love between all of you guys. And then Aya's in the building. She says, "Mayday, Mayday."
Yes.
It's Mental Awareness Month. Yes, last year. Grand Rising and Grand Awakening at Ron, at Chris, at Jazzy, and Hannah, and everyone. It is a Mayday. It is Mayday. And there's many reasons why we're saying Mayday.
Yes. We need help.
Lots of it. America needs help. Jazzy says, "I watched Sinners last night. I only jumped twice." See, there you go. I was just saying, I've been looking for tickets and I cannot find tickets. I was trying to go today, but there's only one IMAX show during the week. And guess what time it is? 11 a.m. So that means I'm going to have to take off from this platform to see Sinners during the week.
Well, look, you have 2 people that can fill in. So
there you go. I don't have to worry about the show anymore. I just go like, take it away, y'all. You guys did great yesterday. I was like, yes.
It was fun. It was
a lot of fun. And it was fun for me to play producer. So that was really good too. And Bryson's in the building. He says, "What's up? What's up, Chris? Sorry, what's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Welcome to the first month of May. And Tony Awards nominations just announced today.
Yep, I was watching that. Till death. Was it till death do us part? Hold on, let me state it correctly. and I saw the show. We saw it last November. Let me see.
Bryson, when you were in New York, did you go to any Broadway
I'm
plays?
sorry. Death Becomes Her. That's what it was.
Death Becomes Her is a Broadway play.
Yeah, they turned into it was a movie that they turned into a play.
I knew it. I heard
so good. It actually got 10 Tony nominations. It just started its run last October or last November, actually. And Ronald and I got tickets to go see it during the Thanksgiving break, and we had such a great time.
Okay.
Michelle Williams is in it. Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. She's in it.
Really?
Yes.
Well, she's been. She's a better actress singer than she is a singer.
Don't let Ronald hear you say that. But I agree. I agree with you. Don't let him hear you say that.
I know some people give her a hard time about her singing as the weakest link of Destiny Child, but I think she's a much better actress combined with singing personality versus singing solo. Just my opinion.
That's your personal opinion.
and I'll never mention it when we all hang out with Ron. I'll never share it. I'll never share that thought. Jazzy says, good morning. Okay. Elise says she loves the bird of paradise.
Yeah,
I do. I had one. Then mine's got infected. I brought a plant in from Home Depot. It had these little black bugs, and somehow it got into my had a beautiful bird of paradise. It was huge. It was right here by my desk. And next thing you know, I kept seeing these little things forming on it. And then next thing you know, it was like it was oozing like sappy stuff. And I was like the wherever the bugs were. And next thing you know, I was like, I had to throw it out. No matter how much I cleaned the leaves and put it in the shower and showered it and put the tea oil on it and everything, it
still didn't. Yeah, I mean, I threw out one plant yesterday because it was struggling with it, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens. That's what I mean. They're plants, and that's what happens. So anyway, Elise is here. She's a good one. And who else? See, Hannah says something. What's up, Jazzy? How you like Sinners? And hey, Miss G is in the building. Good morning. I'm going to send invitations to you guys.
Good morning, Gwendolyn.
And says here, Lee says, I wish my house had more light. You can get the ZZ plant. You don't need that much light. You can get lilies. The lily plant that I have back there that used to be right here next to me. You can get that. It loves low light. And what other plants those are the two that love low light, so they can grow in any light.
I love plants, and who was I telling? I was telling this to I think Rex this morning, because Rex is also a plant lover. He has some beautiful plants as well.
Really?
But yeah, his will rival some of yours. He loves. There's plants in all the rooms. Same thing here, but when you grow up with plants and that's just a part of your being, as you get older, you always want to have them around you. Like growing up, we always had plants in the living room, in the dining room. And then my parents had a garden out back that grew fruits and vegetables, spices and stuff like that. And now as an adult, like I just love, even when I was single living with myself, I always had plants, and I always keep at least one plant in the bedroom. It's good for, for your respiratory system. So, and it's good on your psyche as well.
Yeah, they're good to. They not only do they just filter like the air, make the air cleaner, but they also take out the chemicals in the air.
Yeah.
If you just painted your house, you're worried about all the chemicals from paint, you want to get some nice plants in your house. It absorbs all the chemicals, so that way you won't absorb it. So plants are a beautiful thing. I love them. and now I've learned how to take care of them. So I mean, I started with an app that literally taught me how to take care of each species. And then once I learned how to do it, then I got rid of the app, and now I'm doing it by myself. So I needed an app. I had an app for a whole year to help me out.
Well, here's a key thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. You have to constantly change. You have to change the soil at least 6 months to a year, because the soil you buy has nutrients in it, and it's not long lasting. And it tells you on the bag a lot of times, good for 6 months, good for a year. So even if it's just changing the topsoil every few months, what that allows you to do is to add more new nutrients in there when you put fresh soil at the top, because they're living things and they need to eat as well. And don't overwater your plants.
And also you could use stuff like for instance, and some plants love old coffee grounds. So I used to go over to the connect my coffee shop here, and I would say, could I have some of your old coffee grounds this week?
And they will give them to you.
And they'll save them, put it to the side for me. Then I come back and I would grab them, come home, and there's a couple of plants, the more tropical plants, they loved it. So the more tropical the plant is, the more it loves it. And then also
that's how the birds of paradise got so big, because I use our coffee grounds. Yeah, I told Ron, whenever he made coffee, never throw them out. Just put them to the side, and like every few weeks, I would just dump them in there, and they would grow. Another thing too is eggshells are good.
Eggshells are good too. Yeah, eggshells, and also banana peels. Take your banana peels.
Never use the banana peels.
Put the banana peels in. Like I have like a little old water jug. Throw the banana peels in there after I finish eating, because I eat a lot of bananas. They're like always in the house. And then I just throw them in there, and you just soak in water. And then you take them out, and the water is filled with nutrition. And then you put it also in the plants.
Did not know that. And I literally just finished coming off a banana kick. Like every once in a while you'll crave something. For about a month and a half, all I wanted was like bananas for like breakfast. And I would literally buy like bushels of bananas and just eat them, sometimes 2 times a day. I was like, and I'm not a banana person. But I was just like, I don't know what's going on, so just go with it.
I love bananas. So, but I don't, and like I said, I don't do it all the time. None of the stuff you do all the time, but you should do it like once or twice a year. You'll be surprised how it helps the plants. I mean, look at my luscious babies.
Yeah, and talk to your plants,
and talk to them, and wipe them down, because when you're wiping them, that means you are loving them.
That's what I'm doing today.
Yeah, because the dust accumulates.
So wait, hold on. Remember we were talking yesterday, I believe, about getting the Miracle Grow spray.
Yes,
I got it yesterday.
Yeah, because that's how I had to, when I moved the house around, because I'm trying to get ready for the sale. And but my fiddle figs have grown so big, but again, just like your furniture gets dust, the leaves of your plant get dust every week, so they should be wiped down every week.
Yeah.
But
I
haven't wiped mine down in a long time. I say, you're probably suffocating. I say, I'm so sorry.
I want to try this the one you recommend me, so that's why I have it. But in the past, I've used a little bit of mayonnaise and water to give it that sheen as well.
But I heard that's good too, mayonnaise and water.
Yeah,
I saw that on a plant show. I do look. One thing about YouTube, you want to learn how to take care of a particular plant, all you gotta do is put the plant name in, or if you don't know the plant name, take your Google phone, take the Google app, put it on that little square thing that recognizes everything, take a picture of it, and the Google will tell you what kind of plant it is. Yeah. So you guys we have all of the tools at our hands, as long as we have
technology at our fingertips.
Bryson says, Mr. Bryson says, if y'all don't know that the film with Robert Zemeckis direct, the film with Bruce Willis and Meryl Streep. Bryson, what are you trying to tell us there? What are you trying to tell us, sir?
Did we miss something?
Did we miss something? Did we miss it? Did we miss? I know that he was also talking about the Marvel Studios Thunderbolts come out tomorrow, and IMAX is taking over.
Yeah, it's getting rave reviews too. They're saying it's one of the better Marvel films.
Yeah, and what's her name? Dreyfus is in it, and she was on Jimmy Kimmel 2 nights ago. Or was it last night? My My days of playing tricks on me. Lisa says, "Good morning, everyone." Speaking of Lisa, Lisa reminds me. She's been hanging around with us at our game night, y'all. Y'all been missing some of the game nights.
Lisa needs to get up on the screen and come on the show.
Yeah, game night. Lisa's been with the game night, y'all, and we had a good time last night. Our MVP was TB. TB was a game. She was the MVP. She got 3 words in a row, and then Kimmy Kim. I think it was Kimmy Kim that did the pangram again. She's really good on the pangram. So was it Kimmy that did pangram last night? But anyway, it was a good night. We had a good game night. So those who don't know, we do a game night every Sunday night, Wednesday night, and Friday night at 11:30 p.m. We just have conversation in the beginning, and then at midnight, Wordle comes out. We start our Wordle, and then we play Wordle, and we knocked out Wordle in about 4 minutes yesterday. We knocked it out, and then we went to. We did not get connections yesterday. It was hard. It was so difficult, and Lisa threw her suggestions into the hat. So we were like, I was suspect of her stuff, but I was like, okay, we'll put her out there. We had a good time though. We laughed and had a good time. It's always lots of fun. And folks that like, wow, you guys are doing this at night. And then next thing you know, they enjoy it. So if you ever want to join us as a community and we don't talk politics, we just hang out. It's no fanfare. I got the jazz music going. The lights are down. We have a good time. I think we do. I think we have anyone, all you night owls that hang out at Touch Base Daily Game Night. That's now called, it used to be called Twitch at Night. Now it's called Game Night, to be very specific and to the point, with purpose. If you enjoyed it last night or you enjoyed Game Night, put a shout out, put hands up if you enjoy it. We had a good time. Even Anthony Rowland was out a couple of times, so which is great.
On your game night?
Yes, Anthony Rowland was at a game night. As speaking of Anthony, he says, "Good morning, fam." And Lisa says, "A spider plant in a room can take out all impurities, mold, everything. I encourage everyone to get a spider plant, and they're easy to take care of."
Yeah, I have one here.
I used to have a fireplace in my brownstone, and in my fireplace in the brownstone, especially during the summer months, I would always feel the inside of the. And I had a light. It was an old brownstone, so we didn't use the fireplace,
right?
And so I fixed the light above, like underneath it, and then I put my spider plants in the bed, in that cove, and it would just look so nice at night. You come in the living room, the spider plants were all lit up.
Let me tell you something. Lighting is such key when it comes to interiors, and I think people don't really give it its due. Overhead lighting is okay, unless you have like really specific recessed lights that are dimmable. Having lamps throughout your home is so important. Floor lamps, table lamps, occasional side table lamps. Lights over pictures, and then especially it creates a mood. Like that's one of the things I'm working on right now. So when we do move, we're gonna have we have nice lighting here because we have lots of LEDs that are we can change the colors up. But when we move, we're gonna have some more additional lighting, and just using like amber lights, like those warm colors. Oh my God, it can do so much to a space. Change your whole mood.
One of the first things I learned in interior design is make sure there's 3 levels of lighting. You have what's called, as an interior designer, when you are designing your home and your space, there's what's called overall light. Like you turn on the switch, everything lights up. That's level 1. Level 2, for all those that want some interior design tips right here today.
It's free.
You really do forget that I'm an interior designer. So number 2 Number 2 is called task lighting.
Yes.
So the task lighting you put in areas that you're going to do work. Like, for instance, under the counter when you are cooking and making food and food prep, or task lighting will be the lamps on your desk because that's when you are working, you are reading. So it's a task lighting. That's number 2. And the third level of lighting, all spaces. If you want a really good interior, you must have all 3 lightings. And that is called accent lighting.
Yep.
Those are the can lights in the corner, like you see in the background of Carissa's space. He has the lights in the back. Accent lighting. Lights over pictures, accent lighting. Light in the fireplace, lighting up plants, accent lighting.
Even like the toe kick under like cabinets and credenzas, like all those little things, those really do help. And especially not even just for mood lighting, but like I give a perfect example. At nighttime, you don't want to get, especially when you go to the bathroom, you don't want to turn on that overhead light and this bright light when you're coming from a dark environment. So one of the things that, there are systems out there that I even use, like the Hue system. Like right now, my office is set up on a sensor that when I come in at nighttime, those lights turn like a really light amber, but it's only like 5%, just enough to give me enough light to see in the space. Same thing in the bathroom. You can do that in your kitchen, in your living room, that when you come into a space, just that space lights up and you don't actually even have to do anything. It's all automated. So like that, those are just like additional things if you're into lighting and you're into tech a little bit.
Chris, we should do something like, we should have think about your architecture and I'm design.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's do this. After we move and we finally get set up over the summer, we can do something because we're going to have, I plan on trying to do something like that, moving out of this space, moving to the new space and seeing the transformation. But yeah, especially with lighting is key. And I think that's so important. And I think that people are afraid of lighting. Just watch some YouTube videos.
But
you'll be inspired.
I mean, I just realized that our how we accompany the architectural design.
Yeah.
You are the architect and I'm the designer. I mean,
and we both do photography.
Design service, right?
And they listen. All those design professions, they all commingle. They're all basic concepts, the same basic concepts.
Speaking of that, if you're going to do a project, I don't know how we're going to go into some news and trends shortly, but if you are designing a project, if you have a project that you are working on and it's a major project, you need all 3 of us. Now, 2 of us are represented here, but you need an interior designer because designers put let me start with the architecture. You need the architect because the architect creates the bones.
Layouts, structure.
The layouts, everything, the structure. Then you need the interior designer to put the skin on the body. So everything aesthetically is the designer. And then you need a great contractor to execute what the interior designer and the architect are talking. And
that's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
The contractor.
The hardest part is finding a great contractor that is able to
not gonna steal your money
and execute what the interior designer and the architect are saying.
And let me just add on to that. Key when it comes to finding a good contractor, one is, you're taking a risk a lot of times, but look at their past examples and speak to their previous clients. That is the best way to go and find a good contractor. You don't want to, and here's the thing, you don't want to go with a contractor that comes in with the lowest bid. That does not mean that he's going to give you the best job. He's just trying to lowball you so that when he does get in there, that he's just going to keep adding on stuff. And then a lot of times they walk away with your money and don't even produce anything. And if you don't see previous work of a contractor, do not hire them. It's one thing if they're just starting out, then ask for their references. Who did they work with before? And see the type of work that they did. Always get references on contractors because there have been I've seen so many contractors take advantage of people and walk away with their money. And these people are left with either nothing at all or holes in the ground. It's
or
devastating.
holes in the wall.
Yeah, it's devastating. And
Yeah.
you can see it on HDTV. You can see it in real life. I mean, they're all out there, and they're out there to get your money, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I see it. Jazzy says, I said I wanted to make my home more homey. I have the lights. I don't know what I'm doing. Give me a call, Jazzy. We'll talk. Lisa says, I despise dimly lit rooms, not rooms that you dim the light. What rooms that have too little lights in them and in general. I got you. And okay, I see that. Okay, yeah, Lisa says, and don't love the little spider plant baby runners though. Well, you take those little runners and you can put them in soil right as they're attached to the spider plant, and then they will grow roots into the soil, and then you clip them, and now you have a new spider plant.
Yeah. The other thing too, with plants, if you want to get a cut of a plant, put it in water first, let it sprout its roots, and then you go back and plant it in the soil.
Yes. And Lisa says, sorry for the typos. I'm driving and Siri is playing in my face. Great. Yeah. Lisa says a great contractor is not a real thing. It is. There are good.
They're out there. They're out there.
Adrian's a member and a pastor of a church that I helped design. So I designed their sanctuary. I designed their school, their youth center. I designed different spaces in that building. Their contractor was one of the best contractors I have ever worked with. And I mean, every time he would execute, I would give him the information, the paint numbers, how I wanted it, which needed to be trimmed, all of the work that needed to be done. And then I would go back behind, because as designers, our job is to make sure that everything's being executed the way you are saying. So I would go back, look at it, see what they've done, and then make little notes and say, okay, we call it the punch list. So we have a little punch list, and put the punch list, and we say, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And he would just take care of it. Bam, 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 bam. He'd have his guys do it. There are good contractors out there. They're just hard to find. There are just so many bad ones, unfortunately, that make it.
And then also go by. If you know anyone that's had work done in their place, that's a great place to start. Ask them, who did they use, or who they could recommend. You always want to use someone that has used someone else that you trust.
Yes. Well, guys, we could talk about interior design and architecture all day long, because that's something I love and passionate about. And I don't do it as much as I used to, because then I do photography. But once in a while, Mike, like I am doing an interior design project here in Fort Greene that I just got a new client 3 weeks ago. So I am working on a project here in Fort Greene. So I do interior design. And I love it. It's one of my favorite. It's just as I would say. I mean, they both. I mean, I love them both. I love my photography and I love my interior design. So,
it's all design.
It's all design. It's all about the visuals. So, guys, first topic of the day.
Come on with it.
And you've heard it said, and I'm gonna put it out here again. This is going to affect us all, and this is from CNN, and I mentioned it 2 days ago, I think it was, but maybe here we go. And you need to know this, because guys, this is the warning. Can I tell you, this is the warning. And this community is a strong community. We're not, like I said, we're not large and big, giant thousands of people here. That's okay. We are a community. And this is very, very important. You must understand the importance of what is going on. The last boats without crippling tariffs from China are arriving. The countdown to shortages and higher prices has begun.
Yeah.
Guys, you have to, if you have the extra money, I know everyone can't do this. I know that people don't have money to do it, but you're going to need more money later if you don't do it now, if you can't find a way to do it now. And that is, go to your grocery stores or wherever you shop. The items that are important to you, the things you need to get them this week and next
canned
week.
goods.
This is it. You gotta. They say the last ship arrives May 10th, and there's not a lot of stuff on that last ship either. Cargo ships. So the cargo ship that's coming in is the May 10th. They said is the last big one, and then there's a couple of miniature ones that are coming to the New Jersey port here in Bayonne. But you need, and this is the article on CNN. It's really good. You can go into it. New York, some of the last cargo. Here we go. Let me just get that in there. Some of the last cargo ships carrying Chinese goods without crippling tariffs are currently drifting into U.S. ports right now. Come next week, though, that will change. Cargo on ships from China loaded after April 9th will carry with them the 145% tariff President Donald Trump slapped on goods from the nations last month. Next week, those goods will arrive, but there will be fewer ships at sea, and they will be carrying less cargo. For many importers, it is too expensive to do business with China. Yet, China is still... Oh, go ahead, Chris. You want to go?
No, I was going to say something. It's also not only that 145% tariff that's going to be imposed, the prices are going to go up. It's also now the whole supply and demand. When supply is low and demand is high, people tend to raise their prices. So not only the 145, now you're going to have supply and demand on top of it. So those prices are going to be astronomical this summer.
Yeah, they showed a person that had a Temu statement. And the Temu, the person bought something for $30 on Temu. I think it was like $32 on Temu. And then when they got to the invoice area where they had to check out, it was $76. $76 because of the tariffs.
Yep.
And
you're paying twice for it.
Let me finish up with this. Yet China is still one of America's most important trading partners. It's where we get most of our clothes, footwear, electronics, microchips, which power appliances, thermostats, and anything else that beeps. That's a good indicator. Businesses are making a difficult choice: continue selling products from China at more than double their previous prices, or stop selling those products altogether. For consumers, that means some products will be hard to find or may be too expensive to buy. Starting next week is when we begin to see the arrivals off of that tariff announcement on April 2nd, said Gene Soroka, executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, where nearly half of the business comes from China.
Yep.
Cargo coming into Los Angeles will be down 35% compared to a year ago. Imports into the United States during the second half of 2025 are expected to fall at least 20% year over year, according to the National Retail Federation. The decline from China will even be even starker. JP Morgan expects a 75 to 80% drop in imports from there, if not easily replaced by imports from other countries. A collapse of this magnitude would not only sharply boost prices, but also significantly disrupt supply chains, JP Morgan detailed in its report.
So let's look at it this way. We all remember during COVID when we were looking for paper towels and toilet paper, and you would go and see empty shelves and even sometimes like water.
Yeah.
It's going to be 10 times, 20 times worse when you go in and you don't see anything on shelves. And there's no time frame on when it's going to come back in stock. It's really gearing up to be a really bad summer. So
it's gonna be a bad summer,
like Ron said, if you can afford to do it now, do it now. Like we're going to be probably doing our Christmas shopping, our grocery shopping, because we typically do like one big grocery shopping at the beginning of every month. and we always tend to leave out like produce and stuff. We buy produce as we need it. But I already know that this month is going to be a little bit different. We're going to actually probably be buying more canned goods and more dry goods to store in our pantry. And then also like, well, we're good with like always buying meats and then individually storing them. So like if we get like a whole tray of like, let's say pork chops, whatever, we'll take them out. We'll take 2 out and put them in a freezer bag. So that way we're not having to defrost more than what we need. Take those hints, like buy your stuff in bulk, freeze it, buy more toilet paper than you need. And I'm not saying go and hoard. I'm just saying if you normally would go and buy like a case of toilet paper, buy 2, keep it, it'll last a lot longer. Paper towels, the same thing, buy 2 things of it, let it last you for a couple of months. And then if you do happen to see it when they restock the shelves and maybe it might be on sale, pick up another one. It's not about hoarding. It's just about being smart right now. We have to think ahead and be wise with our purchasing decisions because we're about to be in it.
We are about to be in it. We are about to be in it. And I tell you, I am, like I said, I'm going shopping right after I talk to you guys today. And but it is important. Oh, wait, there's somebody at the door. I heard footsteps, and there they go.
People be ringing your doorbell.
They rang the doorbell again, Chris. I mean, this doorbell, look, man, I love this doorbell. Oh, they're there.
It's one of those rich doorbells too. It's not one of the new ring.
It is called mansion doorbell.
That's what it sounds like, though.
There she is.
Look who's stepping up to the mansion.
Yes, because she's a mansion kind of lady.
I'm a who? Oh,
a mansion.
Mansion.
Sophisticated.
Believe it or not, I am not a fan of mansions. Which I know people be like, oh my goodness, Virgos are so high maintenance. That's a no. It is not. I'm not a fan of anything 2-story. It's a waste of space. Sorry, those who have 2 stories.
Are you in a ranch house?
It is a bitch to heat, a bitch to cool. It's just dust. It is more things to clean. So that's a no.
She's going in this morning.
She came out the gate on fire, y'all. Came out the gate.
I hate to say it, but I have to say it because it's like, no, Gwendolyn does not. That is not my home.
Yeah, but here's the thing: not everyone has the land to do 1 story. Especially if you live in the Northeast, we don't have that.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, Northeast folks need to, they have to double up.
You don't have that space. This is not the South. We got lots of acres of land to build.
Y'all can just spread out like a spider plant.
Lord bless.
Spread out like a spider plant. So what's going on, Gwendolyn? What's going on in your world? I mean, I know you can add on to this subject, but it's like...
Well, I'll add on to this subject first. Although I will say I am training my bot right now. I'm training my bot. I need to get her learned up. So
your bot.
My bot.
You're going to have to dive into that. You can't let that out you can't land that. You can't just like announce that and not explain what's going on with you and your bot.
Well, if we want to sound high maintenance, doesn't everybody have a bot? Like, I'm just saying.
No.
We
have an Alexa. She's as close as a bot that I get.
She's a bot. That is a bot.
Yeah, she is a bot.
Yeah. All right. So let me give a quick synopsis of that. So I don't talk about what I do to make legitimate money quite often because it's not who I am. My job is my job, right? It's how I create income. That's just that. But it doesn't define who I am and what I represent. However, I am refreshing the photography business in terms of a website, the virtual studio, and I want to build into this virtual studio a bot. So when you come in, there is a young person. Well, I mean, we're all young, but there is a young person to quickly answer questions for you. So yeah, so I have to teach her. So it's not just some random something. Like I need her to Sort of speak like me, but not speak like me.
Make sure she don't teach her too much, because then she'll come for you and take your job.
You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, there are parameters there. There's parameters there. I was asking her about pricing. She just made up a price. I was like, where'd she get that from? I don't remember. Just making up numbers. So there's a little bit more work to do in terms of tweaking it. But yeah, you know, you have to teach it. So
yeah.
Yeah, baby. I mean, there's nothing like a bot. But you know, Gwendolyn, like I said, of all the people, well, the two people, but Gwendolyn is like next level. She's always been that way. She's always been the tech guru. When we used to work together at our old job, how we first met is how we bonded over technology.
Yeah. I was like, I was a systems trainer.
Yeah. I was
the marketing systems trainer.
we bonded over technology, and I would say, "Hey, Guru," I used to come when she'd be in the intro. Hey, Guru?
That makes sense.
He is a tech guru, and it's always fascinated me how she takes on this technology world, and she kind of like, and it's not even the thing that she does every day. I mean, well, she did it at the store, but it's not, she doesn't have to know all the other stuff, but now she's like bots. We've had this discussion before about the bots.
We've had it before. Well, you know, it's anything in regards to change.
Yeah.
You know, so my job, literally, I could be on site and I would get a phone call that this is now changing. I pull up the laptop, I would change the documentation, print out some new stuff. I never had the chance to wrap my arms around the change. It was, this is happening, and now tell everybody else and help them get to the place of acceptance. So when you have that for a number of years, you just sort of jump into change. Like, you just get in there. So I just get in there. We figure it out, work it out. In terms of my own, what's the word I want to use? Like for myself, I'll have an idea. It may sit there for a year, maybe 2 years before I put it into my own business, but I'm always aware of it. I'm watching it. So I do for me at the right time. This is the right time, because there's a lot of whatnot going on.
We've been watching these bot things. Like Gwendolyn introduced me to this gentleman. Well, I haven't met him personally, but I just know of him because of Gwendolyn. That everything he does is ran on bots. Remember that you told me about the gentleman that had everything on bots?
He has an amazingly smart home. Yes.
He has a smart home, and everything is a bot. The bots are working when he's not. They're doing all kinds of things behind the scenes.
They talk to each other. And he'll ask them a question, and each of them has a different thought about it, and then he becomes the tiebreaker. It's insane.
We need to talk, because I'm a big fan of home automation, and whatever can make my life, I don't even say easier, but just more streamlined. I'm all for it. Like, I'm looking at getting automated curtains that will open up in the morning. Like, I have a routine where you say good morning, and certain lights turn on, like over the islands. It'll open up the blinds, that type of stuff. Like, those are the things that I like that make my life a little bit easier or convenient.
Chris, if you decide to do it, then you must see me, so that way I can connect you and give you the, as they say, the hookup at the shade store, because I have an account. I have an account with the shade store, and if you want window treatments,
listen, I do need new we're gonna need curtains for our patio doors, and that I definitely want automated. So
and every shade store has a great automation system for your windows. And they do curtains, and they do shades. They're just not shades. You know, it's called the shade store.
I want some nice,
not shades. So
linen curtains.
Anyway, so back to that. So back to
Now that I've attacked Lisa, sorry, Lisa.
What do you mean?
I get it. It is about like where you're located. I completely understand. So, but Gwendolyn is not a mansion person. But it's a great link to this conversation, right?
Yes.
So because we were in retail, and because of where I worked in terms of the corporate office, I always checked container traffic news. It was always out there. It has always been on national news, international news. You could always hear about container traffic. However, your average consumer rarely listened to container traffic. But here's my little asterisk. What bothers me is when we do the sky is falling, and we haven't really asked, well, what exactly is falling? Do you really need cheap clothes from Temu? That answer is no. Do you even really need another t-shirt, period? That answer is perhaps no. You don't need another tablet, another TV, another appliance unless something breaks. We don't need a lot of anything. When you really think about it, this country is like steeped deep in this ultra consumption, fast fashion. It's not sustainable. And personally, I don't think it's bad that half of this shit gets a little expensive. You don't need it, no way. You don't need it. We have across this country multiple storage units that cost anywhere from $500 to $1,200, $2,000 storing junk stuff
that you will never use again.
Even in there.
One of the things I used to talk with my clients every time we would do a project, and they say, "Oh, I'm going to put it in storage." I said, "Why?"
Yeah.
When we start, because we start paring down the house. Before you design, you gotta pare down. So, I would say to them, we need to start eliminating stuff, give away, stay, and trash. Those are the three departments they go in. So this has become a design show today. But but three bags, 3 areas. And then they will always say, "Oh, I'm going to put this in storage." I said, "Now, how long is it going to stay in storage?" And then they would say, "I don't know. I guess it'll be there until I get a new home, or until I get this, or until I get that." Blah, 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 blah. And I said, "Let me tell you the biggest gimmick in America: storage units."
Yeah,
storage units are only to be used. It has its place, and I'm going to go with it. Storage units should be used if you're going to store it for a year to a year and a half. If you know that you are in transition and you are moving, you're changing jobs, or you're moving to a different place, you put your stuff in storage for a year or a year and a half. And the reason why is because usually most people store technology. Usually after 2 or 3 years, some people store their
that is a no-no.
Televisions.
What people you talking to, or like?
That's a no-no.
I'm an interior designer, ma'am, so I know a lot of folks that do store their TVs.
That's
in
crazy.
Between transition, yes, they do.
Okay.
They have record players.
That's different, though. That's different.
Like appliances, like I can understand appliances. I got a friend here who has like a wash and dryer and whatnot. She has brand new luggage in her storage unit.
Yeah.
Exactly. So here's my example. In December,
before you go there, I want to explain the purpose of the storage unit.
Do we need to know why we need a storage unit?
Yes, there may be someone that's listening that may need to know.
I mean, like the whole point is to get rid of the junk. Or is that not the whole point of the storage unit?
No, not always, because people in transition, they may need the storage unit in transition. Like, it's going to be there for a year and you're going to take it out. Period. Good. However, most Americans do not keep their things in storage for a year or less.
Well,
most people put their stuff in storage and they pay storage bills up to 5, 6, 7,
that's crazy to me.
8, 9, 10 years in storage.
That's crazy.
Not a good thing to do.
That's crazy.
Okay,
so,
now go.
So having you shared that, we'll go back to, does it really matter that there's a container coming over without more junk that we don't need to purchase? I will say this.
Yeah.
We need to know what's actually made in this country, because when people do that scarcity mindset and they run out and they get shit that's literally up the street, we make paper towels and toilet paper here. Like we make that stuff here. That's not being shipped over.
Yes,
there are things being made here. So recognize what's being made here, what you can have space to store, and then move appropriately. If we do the pie in the sky is falling, then we end up doing the stuff we did in 2020. We are due for a reset. That is coming. I openly invite it. Like I said, I'm doing my sweetest death cleaning. If y'all want some stuff, come let me know. I'm gonna ship it to you. But we need a reset across the board in how we live, how we show up, and how we treat our fellow man. This is not a bad thing. Is it going to hurt some people with jobs? Yes. That is unfortunate. And I know it sounds like, but but we also don't need another pair of pants, shoes, sneakers, jewelry. We don't need that stuff. We don't need it.
See, here's the thing. And that's why I believe when you make a purchase, spend the money on buying something of quality that it will last you for a lifetime. I'm like that when it comes to suits and to shoes and to certain types of clothes. Also don't always buy on trend because trends come and go. Buy pieces that will serve you year after year after year. You might have to just like maybe, you can dress it up with a buttoned up shirt with some, and a jeans or whatever. But yeah, you don't keep, I'm not into this fast fashion because you wear it one season and you throw it away. It's just like you're wasting money. And I'm not about that wasting money. Now, getting back to the storage unit thing.
It pollutes the planet.
I'm in agreement about storage units. I don't believe in having storage units for a long time. The reason why I got my first storage unit in December was it was transition. It was about converting this space here, because this was a bedroom. And we were planning on moving, and we were looking at getting, a 3-bedroom space. But we ended up deciding not to and just doing a 2-bedroom because where we're going to be moving to has other options. They have hoteling spaces that if we do have guests that come by and they don't want to stay in this space because this sofa bed is a sofa bed, they can say, all right, we'll rent out a hotel space in our vicinity for you for a night or two, which is, comparable. So now, because we had the bedroom stuff stored, we're going to either start to sell. We're going to sell some of the things that is in the storage unit, and the things that we don't, like a mattress. You don't give away a mattress to random people. So we're just going to throw that away. You know what I mean? Okay. And then get rid of the storage unit. As a matter of fact, today I made my storage unit. This will be my last one. So I've only had the storage unit for 5 months. But it served its purpose. It held things that I needed while we were in transition. And now that transition period is coming to an end, we're getting rid of it. There's no need for me to have a storage unit anymore.
May I add one more thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
As an alternative, right? And this goes back to looking at how you live and really thinking about what can I do differently to be kinder to my wallet as well as the earth. Get reusable things.
Yes.
I have invested in reusable paper towels, reusable sponges, ones that really are reusable. Like there are things that we can use that we really don't need to go to. I know people love their bottled water. I'm not doing bottled water. I have a filter. I have water bottles. Fill them up. Mr. Jack is like, Mr. Jack, I need you to use that water bottle, son. Because I'm not doing that, right?
We have 2 big ones we keep in the fridge. We use the filtered water.
Right.
That's what we do. We don't buy water.
There is
I want to know the reusable paper towels, though. You got to tell me about that one.
I mean, there's a place where you have to change your mind and say, okay, what really makes sense. If we take your road, Chris, which I've done, like I got stuff in my closet that literally could go out and drink with me because I'm gonna buy it one time if I can. Now some of these girls are kind of big, and so I'm fighting some things, but I'm gonna get one time, right? So if you consider how much you spend the first time when you invest in it and how long it's going to last and how you stop purchasing the paper cups, the paper towels, how you stop purchasing
we don't do that.
The napkins and things. People come to our house and they're like, there are no plastic cups. I don't use plastic cups.
We don't own any.
I have
other thing too, when people come by and when we invite people over for like dinner and stuff, they get napkin table cloth.
Get a real plate.
Napkins.
Get a plate. Get a fork. Get a glass.
We don't give out paper towels. Like no, paper towels are for like stuff around the house for us. But when you come to eat here, you're gonna get silverware, plates, glasses, wine glasses, and cloth paper napkins. Because guess what? When you're done, it goes in the washing machine. We rewash it. We wash it, and we fold them. We put them away in the console. Those are simple things.
If you buy in bulk, like if I know you guys mentioned the other day, like going to Costco, and we've talked about shopping as a group. If you buy in bulk, you get the one container. Then you can buy the refill pouches and just refill that stuff, right? Like there is a way to be smarter with your wallet, with the planet, and just across the board, and you're not going to miss it. Like you're just not going to miss it. You have more money to go get your fancy coffee, but even that, I just get little K cups and whatnot. I'm not even doing that. right? Like there's ways to make this work for us to where you don't feel the pinch, but it is a change in mindset. It's letting go of that colonizer behavior where I got to grab everything and buy everything. Man, leave that life alone. It's not sustainable. So
listen, we're not shaming anybody if you do have paper cups and paper plates, because we know that it's a mindset, and listen, let me tell you something. The one thing, if that's how you grew up and that's all you know, that's what you're going to do. A lot of times it's really about changing behaviors that you have learned over years, and it can be hard.
And then also, it depends on the dynamics of the family. For instance, I'm by myself, so there's no reason for me to use plastic anything. I eat and I wash the plate and put. I don't even have a dishwasher. I just go in, wash it, put. I know.
I was a dishwasher for 18 years in the Houston household.
I don't even have a dishwasher. I am an old-fashioned. Eat it, wash it by hand, feel it, make sure everything is off the plate, make sure it's nice and clean and squeaky clean. And then put it, then dry it.
Well, here's the thing, though. The nice thing with a dishwasher, especially if you have multiple people in your home, it's good because you don't have to wash. It depends on how many people in the home. You don't have to wash every day. You're not using a lot of water, and it's a water saver. And also, it's about the time of the day that you run the dishwasher. It's really important to run your dishwasher at night when electrical costs are less, and then also all these dishwashers now are water efficient. So doing it, that time of the day. So there are things you can do.
This is now Lisa brings up a good question to you folks that don't use bottled water. But what would you guys do if the water system is contaminated? Don't you think you should have some bottled water stashed away?
So let me tell you about Mr. Jack and his rabbit hole of preparing for whatever he's preparing for, right? So he's been watching these YouTube videos about people who don't have an active water system in their house. For whatever reason, it could be it could be the city thing, it could be something, but there's no running water in the house. And so it goes to all the places of living off the grid, blah, blah, blah. There are solutions to take care of that. There are solutions. You'll surprise how people will find other containers that will not ruin your water to store water after it has been cleaned.
Can I say something?
On YouTube.
You can capture rainwater. In Jamaica, water and electricity is not a guarantee. So most homes have these huge, big water containers either on top of the roof or next to the roof where it's capturing water. And then as it comes into the house, you can put it on, you can filter it out. So there are ways, if you've got a balcony, if you've got a backyard, and I know that city living can be a little bit different and a little bit harder, but there are ways to capture rainwater.
So, but I'm a believer of the bottled water and preparedness. So I'm the Boy Scout. The guy that wants to carry, and even and you don't have to always buy. You can, again, like you guys are doing, is take the filtered water and then put it into containers and store it that way too. So that's another way of storing water. We'll talk about tomorrow. I won't be here tomorrow because tomorrow I have a dental appointment at 11 o'clock. So, but
you need to do better scheduling.
Yeah, well, this has been a crazy week. This week was crazy, and my dentist, she's only on hand. I talked about it last night. I postponed my dentist appointment in January. Just leading into February, and she did not have another opening until tomorrow. So
sounds like my dentist.
Oh yeah, she's like in high demand because she does what we call root cleaning. So she does all the deep stuff, which I hate, but it's got to be done. And but so anyway, maybe you guys will take it over tomorrow. But if you want to continue the conversation,
field day tomorrow.
That's right, you're on field day. Yes, maybe Jazzy would like to co-host if she's not busy. I don't know. Anyone could co-host with Chris. Chris will be at the helm if he decides to want to do it.
I can. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's my normal schedule. So
he's here. It's his normal schedule. So
it's built in. It's built in.
Yeah.
Even if he goes in alone, he'll be here.
Yeah.
He's a professional. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's a professional.
I've done this. I do this on a regular.
But back to the story, and then we'll end out. But again, guys, one is and you bring up great points here. It's not like run out and just buy everything. Go, and if you need, like I said the other day, if you need, the operational word is need. If you know that you are going to need, for instance, when I went out, it took me a long time. Gwendolyn will tell you, it took me a long time to buy a phone. I was like, I am not buying a phone. And I don't buy phones because it's a new phone. I buy phones because my phone has broken down. Something is like my other phone. My screen was
dead.
Yeah.
My screen was dead for almost 2 years, and I was like, okay, Ron, you need to get a phone before the tariffs kick in, and you won't be able to afford one. So I finally said, you know what? I'm going to just break down and get a phone. If you know that there are certain things that you absolutely need for work, for your business, for the things you need to do to survive or to create or to connect or whatever it is you need to do, you need to be thinking about that this week. Because again, as we approach the summer, things are going to get higher, higher, and higher, and higher, and it's not going to stop. So until it gets to a point where these tariff things happen, but then even when the tariffs, if they did away with the tariffs tomorrow, it's going to take 5 to 6 months to recalibrate. So again, so important. If you need something, if you like medication, those things are needed. If you have medication, need it. If you need water and need things in your home, go for it. Beans, canned goods. If you have nothing in your cabinets, you might want to stock up, because not only is it the tariffs, but there's some things that are we are living in an uncertain time.
But isn't
and
every
you should
day
have
uncertain?
it is uncertain times where you should have at least a month of food in your cabinet. Is so important. Yeah.
Well, should is putting your belief on somebody else.
Yeah, but it's my suggestion.
Would be nice to have?
It would be nice to have. It would be nice to have. Suggesting.
Just saying. Because, depending on where you live, you may not have the space for all of that.
This is true. Yeah. And as I say, some people don't have the space. It depends. And then also, again, it's the whole thing of connecting with your community and knowing your neighbors and knowing your family and knowing your friends and who you can connect with and say, hey, I don't have a space, but you may have this space. I may have something that I can put for you, or, we are going to need each other more than any time in probably our lifetime. Not saying our parents' lifetime, our lifetime. Because for us who are our age and younger, we have not existed in this new world that's coming.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, like I said, when I was a kid, I did not know that we were on government assistance until I got into high school. My parents did a great job in not letting us know. Yeah. I just knew I woke up and all I had was like a syrup sandwich, and that was good. And we had syrup sandwiches, right? I didn't think it was anything odd about that. I just, they did not make us aware.
A lot of us didn't know we were poor until we got older.
So our parents went through World War II, and they were born into the wars. They were born into the Korean Wars. They were born into Vietnam. They were born into scarcity. They were born into inflation at 20%. Yeah.
Here's the other thing, though, too. Let's say this too. A lot of us that look like us know what struggle is.
This is true too.
Right. I didn't know that we were poor until I got old. I was like, oh, wait a minute, we was poor. We were poor. My mother came here. My mother came from another country. Started from scratch. We ain't had nothing. Me, my mom, and my brother lived in a studio apartment when we first got to this country, and I thought we were having a good old time. She had a wall unit that divided the kitchen, living room, and the bedroom. The living room turned into our bedroom at nighttime because it was a pull-out couch. We moved the little round table that we had out the way so the couch can come out. We put the sheets on, and that's where we slept. And we got up in the morning, we folded up the bed back into the couch, pulled the dining room out, and the dining room and the kitchen was the same thing. My mom just had a little privacy for herself with the little wall units, and we were none the wiser. We just thought that this is how people lived.
Well, that was pretty good, Chris. We had a clothesline in my grandmama's house. We had the huge galvanized tub. We had to heat the water and fill it up.
Oh, wow.
And then you threw like a bed sheet over it to say that somebody was taking a bath, and all the girls would go in once and all the boys would go in afterwards. And, you know, we still had outhouses until the 90s.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Oh, wow.
You know, keep this in mind. We have a life of comfort right now.
We have a lot of comfort.
We make it seem as if we've always had a life of comfort.
No, not
now. Those are the last week we like to tell ourselves.
But most kids today, most young people, 25 and younger,
they have no idea.
They've always lived with comfort. In a lot of cases. Yeah,
PlayStation,
and a lot of people
cell phones. They're like, you guys didn't have an internet, so what did you do?
Right.
Like, listen, we had telephones with cords. I grew up with a rotary phone. Okay,
yes, I remember the rotary.
And sometimes
calling 911 was a bitch. Calling 911 was a bitch. You're gonna die if you in an emergency trying to call 911. You gotta wait for that 9 to go all the way back to the beginning. Now it's, so call 911 and they do it automatically. Or your watch that you have on will automatically dial it if you fall and hurt yourself.
I had my Timex. I remember my little Timex watch, and it took a licking and kept on ticking. And I remember my mother bought me a Timex watch for Christmas. I was like, oh my God, it's a Timex. I was so excited. But we were poor. We lived over a store. We did not have a lot of things, but we had the things that mattered. And but I noticed I look at some of my relatives' children who are living very well, and they have no clue of what it is to. They think suffering for them is missing a meal or missing something or something's late or whatever. But they have no idea when once in a while see the dispossessed note on the door, you have 20 days to pay your rent or something like that. That was my life. That was our life growing up as a kid. My mother didn't always have, she was a single parent. So, but those were the fears of our life when we were kids. But a lot of this generation is about to learn.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Gwendolyn. I agree with you. I think in a lot of cases, even though it's going to get rough in these streets.
It's going to get rough. Okay, so 2020 was, in my opinion, a place of recognize where you are and how do you want to go forward as a human being in this environment. Yeah, you want to work all the time and have no joy? Or are you okay with, I'm going to choose joy, do work that feels good for me, and enjoy my life? So here you are 5 years later, and we clearly have to still clean up some stuff. So now it's a matter of, I'm choosing joy. I am doing good work in my community. And now I need to get back to building that community. If there's anything I would tell someone to do this weekend is get you a buying group. Yeah, I remember those buying groups.
Get a buying group.
Like the coupon club, the saver club, and you would get together at somebody's house and put all the money in and do stuff.
Yes. They used to call them partnering. Where you would go every month, you would get your quote unquote draw. Just depending on how many people in your group, you would get a draw like every couple of months or whatever. But what was nice is that it was something that you could expect, and it was a good pot of money. Like my parents did that with family members. They would have it was called partner, and they would get their draw like every 2 months or whatever. But that money would last you a good while because it was a way of saving money.
Within
a group, within a community of people.
Get back into a community. If you are someplace community yourself, I've said it I don't know how many times here. Get you a buying group. Get 2-3 people that y'all can purchase stuff in bulk together.
Listen to me. You will never go hungry if you have rice and flour in your house.
Rice, flowers, and beans. Yep. Lisa says we were poor, but we were clean. We were not hungry. my mom made sure to get the sales from Corvettes and Alexanders, so we looked
Yes.
good. I
Wait,
remember
Lisa,
that.
you grew
We
up on
used
the
to go to
islands?
Corvettes downtown Fulton Street and Alexander's on Fulton
Or
Street.
Cornets, yes. And Alexander, and
Yes, we
yes.
used to get
I used to
those.
hate
My
Alexander's.
mother
But
always looked for this stuff, but I was lucky too. My mother worked for Sears and Roebuck, so she used to get
okay.
clothes for like $5, $2, $3, and bring home my
People don't know about that.
husky jeans. I had my little husky pants, my little husky jeans, husky shirt.
Listen to me.
Shared clothes though.
Wait, I'll tell you, poor. When your mother takes you to the supermarket and says, "Pick some sneakers out of this bin," you poor. I remember that. I was like, "No, I'm not. I don't want those."
Yes, and but Jazzy does bring up a serious note here. She goes, "I really think it depends on where you are from. There are people even today that don't have access to basic needs, and this is very true." And Gwendolyn's been on the front lines with the food pantry, and they have lost lots of money because of this knucklehead in the White House, and they're trying to figure out how to feed all these people. When remember during COVID, when Gwendolyn used to tell us stories about the lines of people that were in need of food, just the food scarcity in this country. So there's a lot of people feeling, but it's going to
especially
get worse
in rural areas.
But these are working people. I want to make sure we're clear.
Yeah, working people.
We're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is a metroplex, right? This is a major city. 2 major cities and cities in between. These are working people. People in Dallas, people in Arlington, people in Fort Worth, people in all the other places in between. Houston, even another metropolitan city. I want to say their food bank lost 10 million, 11 million in funding. Here it's going to be 5 million that was lost. So these are working people. But like what Jazzy said, there are people right now who may be in their home, but may not have running water. We just don't know it. There's a lot of folks with some stuff that we don't know. So when we talk about need, it's like really, what do you need? If you really looked at what you truly need every single day to get by, not the comforts, not the nice to have, but just the need. What do you really need? And it makes you look at your house and say, I don't need not another damn thing in this house. Not another.
Yeah.
Not another.
Beyond groceries.
Good. Lisa says, I love this.
Yeah,
I remember this like it was yesterday. That's called the susu. Where no Christian never heard of susu.
Money in,
Oh man, that was the poor man's bank.
Yeah,
that was the poor man's bank back in the day. You got into a susu. Everyone put in $10 every week or $50, whatever how the susu worked, and then everybody was in the susu. Each person each week would get the pot.
Okay.
So and it just kept spreading around.
It's the same concept.
It's a savings account without putting your. Back in the day, folks didn't have. Well, we knew because Black folks weren't always allowed to put their monies in the bank, so that's why they had susus.
Well, now you got people. Well, there was that one couple here in Dallas who took the susu and did like a horrible thing with it, stealing money and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, it's awful thing. But that's a whole.
But you always have those people.
That's a whole nother.
There's always somebody.
There was also a question, and this is going back. This is from Aya. She says, "Has anyone tried neem oil as a natural remedy for plants? My coworker mentioned neem oil repels and kills common garden pests like aphids, spider mites, and white flies. I use neem oil all the time. I have a big one, and I spray all the leaves. I spray everything. Yes, I use it religiously.
Rex put me onto that.
Religiously.
We had a gnat problem with the plants that we have. So I got a bag of that, and that's what I use.
Yeah, so the neem oil works. It's a natural way. It's no chemicals. It's a natural oil from I guess I don't know what the plant called. Is it a neem plant? I have no idea. But it is a good thing. I see a couple more in here, and then we're gonna get out of here because it's let's see here. I see
12:16.
Yeah, we're good. We're in good timing here. Lisa also says, but we would trick my dad. He would take us to Macy's or Bloomingdale's and buy us name brand cereal because my mom definitely had the no frills popped rice.
You could buy cereal at Neiman Marcus and Macy's.
I didn't know you could buy cereal at Macy's and Bloomingdale's.
I didn't know that either.
Holy, Hannah says, Husky, you are hilarious, Ron. So cute. That's why I used to have my Huskies. I had my Huskies.
They had Husky. And if you had cousins, like we had a lot of cousins, so we would bring like bags of what we couldn't fit anymore and just trade clothes.
Yep.
You would trade.
We did that. We did that.
Derek says all these kids. Derek says all these kids anticipating the new PlayStation and Xbox are going to learn today.
Yeah,
they're going to learn.
Hold on, I give you another one. Buster Browns back in the day.
Oh, I had my Buster Browns. They were all at Sears. I mean, my mother would come home with the catalog and say, these are the items that are in the employee store. Because they used to have an employee store in their office building. So the employees would go into the store and bring home. My cousins and I, we all, because she wasn't technically they weren't technically blood cousins. You know how we are in the Black community.
Yes.
My mother's best friend and they worked together at Sears. We used to play all the time together, and we got our Huskies, we got our Buster Browns. Yeah, we were those kids.
Yeah.
And they were like, and the other kids would get jealous. They were like, oh, they must be rich. We were just getting clothes from my mother's office store. And Jazzy says, yes, some of these people have 2 or 3 jobs and don't have access to internet, food, and water. And what's sad about that is that the Biden-Harris administration worked to give those people in the rural areas internet service access, and then they just sucked the people that bit the hand that fed them. Just saying. Anyway, Derek says my grandmother was in the S&H Green Stamps Club when I was little.
Yeah, that's out in the country. It was a book of green stamps, so you would collect them.
They were in New York too. New York.
My grandma had it.
My babysitter had it when I was a child. I was like 6 years old. Actually, we used to go down to walk over to Fulton Street to the store, and she had one that was green, and she had also some orange ones. I don't know what they were, but she used to pull them out, and that's how she paid for her food.
Yep, that's how you pay for it.
I was like, what is that? I remember like it was yesterday when I was a child. And Lisa says, no, that was a run-on sentence. He will buy his name brand clothes and name brand cereal.
That's you, my Lisa. Husband.
That was clarity. And I could stand those. I couldn't stand those Buster Browns. What do you mean you couldn't stand those? Those Buster Browns were hot.
They were pretty thick shoes, though.
I used to love my Halo things.
That was the reason why parents bought kids Buster Browns, because they were durable.
They were durable. They were not going to die. They were going to last you forever.
Well, you got more than one kid and put shoes on. You need to find. My brother used to go through sneakers like it was nobody's business. That's why my mom was like, "I'm not buying you expensive sneakers." I was like, my brother, she would buy him a pair of sneakers. He would come home like in the following week, and they had holes in them. Like, what are you doing to put holes in these sneakers? He was rough on his stuff.
Yes.
Well, they had patches. I still put patches on my jeans. I'm gonna put a patch on something.
But I'm talking about sneakers.
You should see my dad. He put on before he passed away. Like if he didn't want to get rid of certain shoes and things, he would do duct tape and what have you.
Oh,
so
no.
ridiculous.
Now,
he went a tad bit too far, but yeah.
What's this Elisa's talking about? What about drawing the frog to win the art scholarship? I don't know what that is. What is that?
I don't know if it's the same thing, but we had it where like there's this little frog and you made like these little loops and things and you kind of connected it.
Why
and it was part of some sort of art
still
thing.
Doing that?
Yeah. It may be the same thing, Lisa. I know we did some stuff in Texas. We do a lot of stupid stuff in Texas.
I was like, what is that?
Interesting.
Right, who's ready to Met Gala 6 days? So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna be at the Met Gala, hopefully.
That's next week? It's the 5th, right? Next week.
Yeah, next week. Elise says, I bought my baby's cribs with S&H green stamps. See, there they go. Look at that. They were big. Lisa says that she's still on Buster Brown. She don't like those Buster Browns, girl. She don't like them. She said they were big and ugly. And I am Reese's with me. She said, I love my Buster Brown shoes. And Jay says, I remember the patches. Yes, we remember. We remember. And now our kids, the young folks, our grandkids, some folks, great grandkids, they're gonna learn. Moving into a different world. You can teach them through this. Yep. We need each other. Teach community. My dad had books and books of green stamps. When the books were filled, you can trade them in for groceries, Tupperware, dishes, and pots and pans. Boy, have we come a long way, y'all. What?
Yes, we have.
My kids with the shell toe got too small. My mom cut the toes off.
Wow. That's a whole nother level.
I remember when my kids. That's so true. I had to cut my kids in the front because my toes were getting too long.
And they had no foot support.
And we made them sandals. They had no support. They were flat as they were flat.
But everyone wore them though. They were affordable.
Because we had some knockoff kids. We didn't get the real deal.
Oh, we had the real ones.
4 kids in the house. They were not the real deal.
We had our little
do they still make them?
Yeah, they do. They do make kids.
I'm not really sure.
Converses, they still make.
Well, I mean, honestly, Keds were the first Converse. They were the original.
And then they were competing against each other. Oh, this is the last one. Then we're out. It's okay. Here we go. I'll never heard of those shoes. Says Ronald Thomas. He's never heard of them.
Cheering in this conversation.
Yeah. Wait. Which shoes have you never heard of? Keds or? Because I know he knows Converse. He's a big Converse person.
Kim says, "Oh, I remember the green stamps. A lot of us remember those green stamps when we were kids.
You have to forgive my husband. You have to remember he's younger than me."
That's what I said.
Lisa says, "What about Columbia House with the penny CD?"
Buster Browns. Lisa. Yeah.
She said,
he wouldn't know Buster Browns.
Lisa says, "I got my whole CD collection from there and never paid a cent." I remember I used to hang out at Tower Records in New York City. We used to hang out. And they had to have the headphones on the wall. We didn't care about
a hangout spot.
We used to get those headphones put on my heads. We didn't care what we got on our heads.
Yeah, Tower Records was a spot. South Street in Philly.
Browns. He said Buster Browns. Well,
yeah, Ronald, he wouldn't know that.
He don't know what a Buster Brown is.
He's too young.
And Derek says, there's a saying that Converse are for people with flat feet. Yeah, we have flat feet. I have flat feet. My feet are flat. They are as flat can be. And Elise says, we had beta bullets instead of Keds. What's a beta bullet?
I ain't never heard of that one.
I ain't never heard that one. That's
going way back.
Is that Midwest? Is that the Midwest shoe? Bullet, beta bullets. Wow, I never heard that one. Okay, guys, it's time to get out of here. It's time to get out of here. This was great. But guys, tomorrow, I do believe you'll have Chris here. And so I will be getting a dental appointment and I may pop in here and there, but Chris will be running the show tomorrow. And
Focus Friday.
Focus Friday. And so we're going to have a great time. Guys, thank you so much for today. This was a good conversation. You guys rock every time. And I could not do this without these two knuckleheads.
We try.
I almost said something. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna let you tip me, Ron. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing it, son. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing
it. If you enjoyed the show, hit the likes, and also put in the comments what we talked about today. If you see anything or you want, and also send our community stuff out to other people. Send it out. I have not done any of my marketing stuff. I need to do that real quick. I need to do it right now, y'all. Here we go. If you want to stay in contact, join our email list. Join the email list. That is, you can go to ronlewisphotos.com. Join the email list. Also, if you're looking for an event photographer, I am an event photographer. So slide into my DMs or also go to www.ronlewisphotos.com and I can help you with your event photography, either corporate, which is what I do most, corporate, but I also do residential and private affairs. And again, a thank you to our Patreon members who are amazing. They keep what we do going. They help support. They help pay for the Canva. They do help pay for the StreamYard. They do it. And there's a lot of bills that come to association with coming here online. Thank you for the Patreon members. If you want to become a Patreon member, you can just go to patreon.com and just hit Ron Lewis Photos, and it will pop up. Okay, and I think that it. Oh, we got one more, and also thanks to the Rolling Clouds for also supporting what we do here, and they are a major sponsor, and I got it all in. I got it all in, y'all. Now I can let you guys go. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Wait, Gwendolyn, you have a show coming on tomorrow evening?
Yes, I'm doing life lessons from Master Yoda for those who are Star Wars fans.
Ooh.
May the fourth be with you, but obviously that's not gonna. So yes, yeah.
Okay.
And you're finished with the drag show.
Yeah, we're coming back May 12th.
Gotcha. Okay.
All Star season starts on May 9th, and we'll be back with our first show May 12th.
There you go. Okay. That's why I make sure you guys got that in as well. And Hannah says she enjoyed the conversation. Gwen says almost said it. She's so Gwendolyn can censor herself. She really can. She's totally verbal. Not only cerebral, but verbal. So guys, have a great day. Enjoy. I love you all. Have a good day. Bye. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.